I just watched that back and I want to acknowledge that old me would have refilmed that because the angle was like down here and you just get to see all my chins, but I'm gonna leave it because that's life.
Welcome to Simply Intentional. My name is Katie. I'm on a journey to have a fully conscious life made with intentional choices. My goal is to approach my life with passion and compassion, and I want to share this journey with as many people as possible. Follow along as I figure out my 30s, learn about myself and the world around me, and share my vision for sustainability, a post-capitalist future, and the emotional and psychological benefits of intentional living.
Good morning, friends. It is Friday. It's a long weekend. It's July 1st. I am heading out on a hike in a little bit with my mom, and I'm just gonna put you down right there. We're heading out to go hiking today. It is absolutely stunning out, and then we're gonna go and get some breakfast, and then I'm gonna come home and probably play in my garden. So I have been deciding that I'm gonna change up the style of these videos a bit because, they're my videos and I can do what I want. So I'm still going to be continuing my series on internalized capitalism. I'm still going to be doing all of that stuff, but I want to incorporate more like vlog style content in it too, because I think it's just like a little bit more relatable than like a talking head in the background, you know? So anyways, this is my experiment in that. Excuse me while I froth my milk. Millennial. It's oat milk. It's actually, so I've been saving this since Christmas. It's my oat nog, which if they don't make again this year, I will probably revolt. Just saying. So, yeah, this video we're going to go on some hikes. I think we're also going hiking tomorrow. We're for sure going painting with my aunt, which will be kind of fun. So, oh, there's little birds in my yard. Yeah, that is what we're doing this morning. So I thought I would just check in with you now and give a little update on what this video is going to be like. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I bought this little frother thing on Amazon, totally worth the money. Obviously blue, like every other decoration in my house, because I have a problem, but sometimes you just gotta make yourself your own latte, because, like, you know, isn't that how we get a mortgage now? But yeah, this video, I want to talk to you guys about the idea of, like, what will be practical steps to do from here. I've been doing a lot of thinking, I've been doing a lot of reading this week, and there's been more announcements out of the US yesterday on the 30th, which were just peachy clean about the EPA, which I might dive into later. So yeah, I definitely just want to have more concrete steps of what we can do to solidify our actions, to work together and stuff like that, because, like, a lot of this stuff is very depressing. It's happening around the world. It's not just happening out of the US, and this is class warfare, right? Like, this is not a bodily autonomy issue on its own. This isn't an environmental issue on its own. This isn't a racism issue on its own. This is class warfare, and we need to address it as such, and we need to work together. So that's my long-winded intro for this video because I ramble, and I will pick you guys up again later. Also, something else that I wanted to touch in, and I've noticed it in, like, the editing process and a lot of that, is that, like, I laugh, right? Like, I'll be talking about something serious and I'm like, haha. It's because I laugh when I'm mad, which is, like, not ideal when arguing with someone. But yeah, I get irritated and then I laugh because, I don't know why I do it. I guess it's like people who get upset and cry. But I am just, like, angry and slightly unstable, so I laugh at rage. Anyways, did want to touch on that, because, like, I'm sure other people have noticed, like, the 10 of you that watch these. Hi, Mom! But, yeah, just wanted to acknowledge that. Good morning, friends. Well, it's like noon, But it is Saturday today, and I had a great hike yesterday. It was really nice. It was harder than I thought it was going to be. It's been the first, like, tough hike that I've done this season, so that was really nice. Ended up, like, scooting down some rock faces on my butt, as you do. Today I just kind of, like, bummed around, cleaned some stuff. Didn't really film it because it was hella boring, but today I'm going to go to my aunt's house and do some painting, so I'll bring you along for that, and that's about it that I got for today. Tomorrow I think we're gonna go on a little adventure. Yeah, but I was sitting here getting ready to go, and I just wanted to pop on and then talk about something that I've been thinking about recently, and it's just the idea of like concrete steps we can take to, one, like feel a little bit less hopeless with everything that's going on in the world, and two, to also just like build a better sense of community and to feel less alone, because I think that a lot of people feel alone, especially after the last couple of years with everything that went on. We just ended up like super isolated, and I think that it exacerbated a lot of like ongoing issues like outside of world events that are absolute trash. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about that I've been thinking about a lot this week is the idea of like community infrastructure, like creating solid community infrastructure outside of like capitalist bounds, outside of relying on government resources, and to create communities that are resilient and that we can all be a part of, and that can support one another, not just financially, emotionally, with whatever, like, you know, we always see in movies, whatever, back in the day, someone would get sick in your neighborhood, people would show up with food, and now you, like, get a text, if that, when something happens in your life, you know. I'm sure that's not true for everyone, but that's kind of the feeling. And I think that if we want to, you know, build strong communities, another part of that is going to be becoming as self-sufficient as possible as a community, which sounds kind of odd, but I think we're losing the ability to not rely on capitalist infrastructure. We're losing the ability to produce and preserve our own food, create our own clothing, tend to ourselves, you know, and that's scary. This, you know, you want to get into like socialist philosophy, there's the idea of like the specialization of labor, because you become very singularly able to do one task and therefore have to work more to outsource the other basic necessities of your life. You don't have time to tend a garden and grow your own food and harvest your own meat, so you have to go to the grocery store and buy it, paying a ton of money. You have to go and pay someone to fix or purchase new clothing. You have to, in some cases, pay someone to come and clean your house because you're working so much. You know, you have to outsource childcare because we don't have community structures in place that don't cost, you know, thousands of dollars a month. People are forced back to work well before they would want to after having children, and those kinds of things. And I think that a lot of those skills were intentionally taken away. I think a lot of those resources over time were intentionally taken away under the guise of like improving our lives and making it more convenient, but it only needed to be more convenient because people were spending more and more time working. Yeah, that's sort of a tangent, but I think that if we're able to become self-sufficient communities, if we're able to rely on one another, you know you're not going to go hungry if you get sick, you know that there's someone that can come and help you fix something, that kind of thing. I've seen cool stuff out in different communities where they have like a library of things, so if you need a power tool for some project, you can go and rent it like for free, like taking out a library book, you know, like a co-op almost kind of thing. I've seen also in other places where you like volunteer your time. So you can go down and there'll be a whole bunch of people there, and someone might be good with electronics and be able to help you fix your clock. Someone there might be able to help you fix your bike. Different skills, and you know, people donate their time in that way. And that's sort of that idea of mutual aid. So I think those are different cool ideas. I think that's definitely worth exploring. I'll link some resources below because like I'm not an expert, obviously, on any of this. I just think that they're cool ideas. For me personally, something that I've been working on is definitely the idea of becoming more self-sufficient. So this is my first year growing my own vegetables. I will insert some clips of vegetables here. Got the first veggies out of my garden. I got some beets. Not a lot, but they're the first things I've ever grown. Some of the stuff I planted didn't take, but I have some onions that should be ready in a little bit, and some potatoes.
Some are small, but yeah, those are my veggies.
But yeah, I wanted to be able to produce my own food. Like, one, the quality of the food that we're able to access now is not great. It's pumped with more and more preservatives, it's all these things, and, regardless of your personal feelings on those, ultimately, like, I think the more we interfere with our food systems, the more our food systems are going to require intervention. I've been reading this really interesting book called One Straw Revolution, which I will also link below, but he made an interesting point talking about how we often see innovations we have made as these great improvements that, when we have disrupted the system, we then are required to find a solution, and then we treat these solutions like they're some sort of advancement for humanity, when the reality is, like, had we not interfered in that way, like, it wouldn't have needed a solution. It's just like something that I've just started reading, so it's quite an interesting concept. Those of you that know me in real life and know sort of like my goals and plans, like, I'm very into people becoming as self-sufficient as possible in terms of their food production. I think that we need to find more community gardens, food not lawns, that kind of movement. That's all very important to me. And that's something that I'm personally working on this year, starting my own garden. I'm going to learn to can this summer, see how that goes. I'm going to try water canning because it seems slightly less intense than pressure canning. But I think those are all important skills. And I think, lastly, when we can do this for each other, and provide those skills to one another and provide resources to one another, then we can step outside of like capitalist modes of production. And I think ultimately the less money we give these people and less time that we spend, striving to access the necessities of life, I think the better off we're going to be. Yeah, that's just kind of like the things that I've been sort of pondering this week and over the last few weeks and over the last few years, really. I know a lot of my videos are kind of rambling, but you're getting sort of my unfiltered thoughts. This is a journey that I'm going on, that I'm hoping is interesting for other people. And so that is just kind of my thoughts from what I've been reading. Obviously, like, these are not original ideas. I'm not like a philosopher, but I've been consuming a lot of YouTube, different, media of like individual creators. Like, if you can tell from the fact that I'm making YouTube videos, I love YouTube. I love YouTube as a medium because I think that, you can get a variety of people out there with a variety of different outlooks, and I think that we need that moving forward. It's something that I think the right does quite well, is they don't have to all agree with one another. They don't all have to do this. They just understand that their message is important. Well, we can step back from that and agree that as anti-capitalist, as whatever you want to say, that we are on the left, whatever, however you identify it. We need to understand that the ultimate goals are more important than, like, infighting. If we're trying to, like, step away from an oppressive system and we're rejecting forms of oppression, for one another and for our communities, then we need to be more understanding with one another. And, if you don't agree with someone 100%, then that's okay if you're both fighting for the same thing. You don't have to 100% agree with someone. I know lots of my friends I don't agree with, and that's fine. We can not agree, but we can still have civilized conversations. We can still respect and support each other, and that's also super important. And I think that that's something that the left needs to do better, and I think that that's something that we can work on together. And that is also part of creating resilient community infrastructure, is letting people know that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to say the wrong thing. As long as you understand and apologize for it, then we can move on, and it doesn't have to be ugly. I've just seen a lot of ugly fights online that I don't know if they're helping. I don't know. Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent, so welcome to my wild thoughts again. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there for now. I will pick you up again in a bit when it's time to go painting, but I'm gonna go and do some yoga because my whole body is very sore from my hike yesterday.
definitely did not end up picking anyone up again after the painting last weekend because I'm crazy, but they're my paintings. I'm very proud of them. It was a lot of fun. Definitely would recommend. It's expensive though, you use a lot of paint, but I loved it and we'll be doing many more, so cost space right there for them. But I think that's where I'm going to end this week's video. I will have a next one out in 2 weeks, as always, trying to get on a weekly schedule, but like it's not likely. I have a life and like try to read a lot of books. And this takes time to film this, edit it, write the blog posts. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you in the next one. If you did like this video, please like it. Helps me out a lot. Also subscribe if you want to see some more chaos of my life and rants about capitalism.